How's it going? It's Paul with PM Designs, and this is Photo Talk episode number 5. This is going to be kind of a random video or podcast, whatever we're going to be calling these things. And I have this week the same guest as last week.
Garrett from GJP Photos.
You're not going to be a special celebrity guest this week?
No, I cringed when I listened to the playback on that last week. It's one of those things that you think is going to be funny, and it turns out not to be.
Yeah. So this week, we're trying something a little bit different. So we may get a little bit better audio, maybe not. Maybe it may not make a difference. But on my microphone, I now have a on-stage stands pop filter, and on the other mic, we don't have one because the store only had one. Because I would have bought two, but there was only one.
Your level still got pretty high on that last little.
Well, yeah, this isn't really going to cut the levels, but it's going to get rid of the pops, from the P's and the B's, I think, the plosives. And, but, so we've kind of had an interesting little week this week. Really haven't been taking many pictures, but, we've definitely been...
No, the weather hasn't really been cooperating all that well this week either.
Yeah, there was the rain, and then last week I decided to go, have a day at the golf course. New hobby. That was an epic failure.
Yeah, it takes practice, though.
Yeah. But, tonight we kind of wanted to talk about, we went and looked at some of the newer cameras out there, and, Garrett got a little more hands-on, time on those than I did. I was talking with the lady about some different issues I was having with the DSLR. But so what'd you think? You were looking at the T5i?
I looked at the T5i at the camera store, and then when we went to Best Buy, I looked at once again the T5i as well as the 5D Mark III, which is an amazing camera, but it has a hell of a price tag.
That it does. If you can afford it, hey, you can afford it. But, for our purposes, and at this point we're both in, I think the T5i is almost more than what we need.
Yeah.
I'm a big supporter of the T3i. T3i. I think it's been out there long enough, so the price has kind of come down a little bit.
Yeah, I think they wanted $1,000 for that T5i with the kit lens.
Now, what about that SLI? Did they have that one at any stores that you happened to check it out?
They had it at both stores, but I actually checked it out at Best Buy, and I mean, for the price, they wanted $700, and I mean, if you have big hands, forget it. It's too small.
So it's probably more towards like women, or smaller statured people.
Yeah,
people with smaller hands.
Anybody that has smaller hands, and it had a small kit lens on it. I can only imagine that you put your heavier glass on there, you're gonna have a little bit of balance issues. I actually think
that might look kind of funny. Put a nice, heck, even put my 75 to 300 on there. I think you'd get a pretty goofy looking camera.
Yeah. It was actually the body of it's. I want to say it's actually smaller than my Power Shot.
It might be actually. I think it might be, but like I said, I didn't really get to go hands on with any of the cameras, but I was actually looking at some video cameras, which I'm looking at getting something new. And earlier, Garrett's gonna be starting his own little channel now. Went ahead and lent him a camera I'd reviewed earlier. It's that the Insignia 1080p little camcorder. So hopefully he'll be able to get out some videos and stuff on his own channel, and we'll definitely. He may put some videos for my channel. I may put some for his. So we may do something like that. But I think for the most part, other than these little special guest appearances, we'll probably be pretty independent on the channels. Unless we put together like some kind of collaboration video. But what about those tripods? They had some pretty cool looking ones, small.
Yeah. Don't ask me brands, but they had one that was pretty small and pretty light. It would be perfect for, if you're one of those people that likes to bring their tripod with them everywhere they go. It folds up small, it's light, doesn't take up too much space in a bag, or hell, even if you're just carrying it around with you,
Yeah, it was definitely a real light tripod. I didn't really see whenever you were putting some weight on it to see how sturdy it was, but was it pretty?
It was pretty sturdy. If I had a larger like you mentioned earlier, if I had a larger DSLR I was putting on it, I don't know if I'd want to put that much weight. I don't know if I'd trust it that much. I'd probably want to get something a little bit more sturdy.
Yeah, I definitely, yeah. Well, I was the one that said that, so I guess I have to kind of agree with myself. But I did like that tripod too, because it seemed very compact. It was one of those things I wish it almost seemed like it was more of a store brand because they had that name on a lot of the equipment that they sold, but it may or may not be. But it was a pretty compact little tripod, and they had a little better one. I think it was like $100 more, which I don't know if I'd really spend $100 more, but if I were to buy either one, I'd get the $100. I'd get the one that was $100 more, because all the clips and stuff were metal, and if you're gonna put a little bit of a decent camera on there, I'd rather the metal clips.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, so that camera I was looking at earlier was kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to look at it too much. Tell us about it a little bit.
It was it may take me a second, because I'm gonna have to pull up the model of the camera, but it was a Canon camcorder. It was kind of cool because I'd been looking for a camera that I can put an external mic in, even though we can sync the audio and video up in post. One less thing to have to worry about syncing it up. It's easier. And I've been looking for something, and I really hadn't found anything on the. Sorry, I'm trying to look up something on my Amazon account. So whenever I was looking at it, it seemed like a nice camera, and it had microphone inputs on it, and I believe headphone outputs on it. I wasn't 100% sure because the bracket that kind of held it, so you can't really do anything with the camera, was covering up one of the inputs, but I could see that it did have a microphone input, recorded in 1080p. It had a bunch of special effects on it, and the best thing I thought about it was only about $250.
Yeah, it's relatively inexpensive.
And it was the Canon Vixia HFR 400. It's had a 53 times zoom. I don't know if that's optical or digital or not, or what point that goes into being a digital zoom. But it's a pretty cool little camera.
Was it 1080? 1080?
Yeah, it was 1080. I didn't really get to look at what the frame rate was. But you can Google that and stuff. But it was this really small camera, so I mean, it's something that you could easily, throw in, if you have, some cargo shorts on, cargo pants, you could throw it in the pocket. If you carry any kind of, purse or a bag around, you could easily stick it in there. And, along with that little tripod that you were talking about earlier, you got a great combo.
What do you want to do with that camera?
I was actually thinking about getting it for the channel. Start putting together some videos, some tutorials and stuff, because that place where we went the other day, we were taking those photos. I think that'd be a great place. We'd go out there, set up the camera on a tripod, and then be able to look at that monitor, and then have a lapel mic on to cut, so we can get good quality audio. We don't have to go separate audio systems, even though we may do a separate audio system on occasion. But we could do something like that, and it'll allow us to create more content for the viewers, and more hands-on stuff, instead of us just talking about showing the camera and showing the features, and showing us what showing the benefit to the user for those features, not just here's the specs of the camera, but why that spec is good, why it should have this spec or that spec. But I think it'd be a good addition. It's just you got to get the money put aside for that. And I also want to make sure I'm buying. I've had good luck with Canon products, but I don't want to end up it being like the SX500, where now I'm wishing it would have had RAW, and it doesn't have RAW. But I did download something last week for it, and I've been trying this out. I'm not gonna, by any stretch of the imagination, I'm not gonna say I'm an expert on it. But if you remember, I was talking about the firmware hacks on the camera. I went ahead and downloaded one of the ones last week, which it's CHDK, and I downloaded that and put that on the camera, and it's actually the only issue I'm having.
Is that like a legitimate software, or is that something like you jailbreaking a phone, or?
I don't really know. I mean, it's
who makes it?
CHDK. It's a Canon Hack Developers Kit or Development Kit.
Yeah, that sounds kind of fishy.
No, I wouldn't say it's from everything I've read. The name with the hack in there might throw people off a little bit. But it is one of those things. If you put it on your camera, you are gonna make if it messes it up, they're not responsible. So use at your own risk. And that's with anything you're changing from the way it came from the manufacturer, you're doing it at your own risk. So that's one of those things. If you do it, keep that in mind.
I'm surprised they didn't make that camera with the ability to shoot RAW to begin with.
That's one thing that a lot of people comment, on cameras and stuff. Not just these kind of cameras, but other cameras where it's, it does this and it wouldn't, there's cameras that are this spec that, same processor, same, pretty much all the same internals, and they're able to capture RAW. To be honest with you, I'll take not being able to shoot 2 or 3 photos a second to be able to save a RAW file. Because, I can have a bunch of JPEGs, but I'd much rather a RAW file.
Yeah, I mean, you have endless possibilities with a RAW file, whereas, once you process that JPEG in the camera, you're pretty much done.
You've baked the cake.
Yeah. You
can't take the cake apart once you bake it and get your flour back. But the thing with the CHDK is that it allows me to actually now record a RAW file. The problem is it's not a CR2 file like the Canon camera spits out as the RAW file. It's a .dng file, and I'm having some issues with being able to, I can edit it with Photoshop. Can't touch it in the Digital Photo Professional unless I can't figure out how to make it work in there, but I still can't get that DNG file to a JPEG, and I really haven't looked into it, so there's probably some simple piece of software that I'll need to download. But I've actually been really enjoying messing with that piece of software. It's kind of like learning something new.
Yeah.
And I forget the name of the software, but they do make one for DSLRs that I've kind of been thinking about messing with, but really my T3 does what I want it to do. And I'm almost maybe looking at on that camera I was looking at earlier, that Canon Camcorder I was looking at, maybe looking to see if they offer some kind of software that may allow me to, like the zebra striping, to show you your highlights and stuff and your blown out areas of the video, so that way you can adjust your exposure, which that was actually one thing I wanted to mention. The camera does have controls over your exposure.
Which camera?
The Canon Camcorder I was looking at. Yeah, that one. So the more and more I look at it, and the more and more I think about it, I think it... What is that squeak? Is that you breathing on the microphone?
Yeah, my sinuses are a little my sinuses are a little off today. So
I'm sure they really enjoyed hearing that sniffle in their ear, if they have earbuds in or their car stereo. So,
oh well.
Well, I'm gonna apologize on his behalf. But yeah, and so that was what I was wanting to talk about earlier. What I was thinking about earlier. Remember whenever you first got over here when we were talking about Google, that comment system? What do you think about that?
It's terrible. Or is there really any other word to describe it other than terrible, awful, terrible, horrible?
All I know is it's a pain in the backside. I got an email from my feet are getting hung up in wires.
Yeah, you got wires everywhere in here.
Yeah, it's because my little bin of camera cables is kind of overflowing. You fuss when they give you an extra micro USB cord or a mini USB cable with your camera, but then, you fuss if they don't give you one, but then you got a bin full of them sitting by the computer, which, hey, if you need one, let me know. Not the viewers, my guest. I can't ship cables to people.
That'd be one way to get views. Hey, if you listen to this video,
if you listen to this at this second, just kidding, guys. No, not shipping out cables. Sorry. If you need a USB cable, go on Amazon. Go get you one on there. But yeah, I got an email earlier and it said that somebody had shared your video, and I was like, okay, first time I've ever seen an email saying that. So then I tried to look at it on the phone, and I couldn't find anything. I even went to the Google Plus app, went to the Google Plus website. I couldn't figure out anything. Until I got home, got on a computer, which in the old system, it used to be I could view the comments that you guys are leaving us, which I like that. I like the interaction with my audience. I like to, if you ask a question, I can easily answer it. And this new system's just not promoting that. It's making me feel like, I've got my content and then the comments, and I have to hunt to find where the comment is.
Yeah, well, the issue is, I think Google's trying to get it to where all of their different products, YouTube, Google, Gmail, Google Plus, etc. They're trying to get it to where it's all linked and it's one product. And I think the issue with that is, didn't you mention something about it shows up on the Google Plus page, but not on the channel? And
well, that's what I was kind of getting at is that it shows up. It says that you shared it, and it's like, okay, well, the guy shared it, but what that really means is that when he commented, it showed up on his feed on his Google Plus page, which is it's cool and all, that it's showing up on his page because it's more exposure for your video, but it makes it to where I can't everybody remembers the old system that YouTube was using for the comment system. It made sense. You went below the video, typed in your little thing, and I could just go below the video. I could click reply. It was very simple. Now I got to go all over the place. I don't get my notifications through YouTube. It's hectic.
So in other words, Google, if you're watching this, we want the old system back.
And I understand that, let's merge everything together, but I think the way it was merged, it's not the problem that they're being merged because, like I said, it helps the content get out there. And, if I comment on a video and it's about changing oil on a vehicle, and one of my friends had a question about changing oil, he may watch that video and learn how to change the oil on a vehicle, or he may see something, related to a computer thing. And, so that's kind of, it gets exposure and stuff, but I think it could be better. I don't say get rid of it altogether. I say, but that it needs improvement.
Yeah, and Google's usually pretty good about listening to their consumers and fixing problems.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah. Hopefully something will come about in the not too distant future. I'd like to hope that at least. So. Anything else? I did kind of... Actually, there was one other thing I was going to talk about. I meant to kind of put a video together, and I really haven't prototyped anything, but I started thinking about that bracket I have for my phone. I kind of started thinking about how I can put together a rig that's for a regular microphone. That's what that little piece is for on the stands.
Oh.
Go watch the Samson NK10 video and you'll see what he was messing with on the stand. It's the little microphone clip that's just clamped onto the stand. But no, I was actually thinking about putting together the using that little bracket that I bought for my phone to put on a tripod. I was thinking about actually making some little video rig using the video lights and this little kind of pistol grip that I ordered last week to it's a little convertible pistol grip tripod thing. They're like $5 or $6 on Amazon. But I was kind of thinking about putting something together with that and making a little on the go little camera rig, where I can actually get pretty decent video. I'm still trying to work out the external microphone setup on the phone so we can get good audio too. But if I go somewhere, I already got the phone. I can have a quick, couple of pieces, throw the phone in it. I'm good to go. Why are you blowing on your microphone?
I have no idea.
Like I said, he's torturing you guys' ears. Hopefully I'm not. Hopefully this pop filter's actually taking up a lot of that, because
I was actually just looking at the levels and seeing what they were doing. I don't know that it actually picked it up.
It may not have, because like I mentioned before, I think these microphones do actually, which these are the Samson Meteor microphones. There is a video talking about them, posted probably a couple months back whenever we first started talking about putting together these little podcast videos. But they, I think they do have a built-in pop filter or windscreen, something. But hopefully this external pop filter is helping a little bit too.
Yeah, I've been watching your levels. Your levels have been pretty good.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Everybody stresses it. You can have good video, you can have amazing quality video, but if your audio is crap, nobody's gonna stick around. They'll listen to it for a few seconds and say, "Click, next video."
Yeah, I wonder how many listeners we still have at this point.
Yeah, after you whistled into their stereo, burped in their ears.
Hey, that wasn't me.
If they had some subwoofers, they were probably vibrating all over. They were listening. They were just cruising along and then. Brrr.
Anyway.
But I think we've... So I think we have a few more little tweaks here and there to make to this this podcasting setup. Right now we're pretty much doing this, just talking to some microphones. We're
gonna probably for some future videos do a little bit better research, try to bring y'all some better content.
Maybe. I really wasn't talking about the content. I was more talking about how we're putting together these our equipment standpoint. Is we're gonna look at actually getting into where we can monitor our audio. So if anybody's actually ever done that before, yeah, I would say leave a comment. I may find it. I may see it. I don't know. If you've used these microphones before, these USB microphones, and more than one microphone, if you just want, especially on Apple computers, if you've set up to where you're able to monitor both, it'd be great to, I have an idea on how I can make it work, just because I can feed audio output to one microphone, split it with a headphone adapter, or I can split it from the back of the computer to two headphones. So either way, but I'd like to be able to have it set up to where we can monitor and we can hear each other in the headphones, and I can hear myself and Garrett in my headphones, and he can hear me and himself in his headphones. So hopefully we'll get the equipment situation all sorted out, and hopefully this pop filter has helped my audio, and if it has, we'll put one on the other microphone as well. So.
And one thing to look forward to in the coming weeks, I think we're going to try and start doing some product review videos. Maybe bringing in some equipment, review some equipment, and might be something to look forward to.
Yeah, like I said, we'll probably start putting together some in-field, stuff, some tutorials and stuff. So, we're really trying to, I think this, I'm really glad that my buddy has, picked up this photography thing, because it's a major help to be able to, have someone else that we can bounce ideas off of each other and different things. And I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but he's got a video camera now, so he can start recording his own podcasts and stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna be looking to I'll probably try to have a video up by the end of this week.
Good stuff. What you gonna do it on that bridge camera, you think?
Yeah, I'm gonna review the everyday camera I use.
All right, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing that, because I know I've messed with it, but I'd really like to.
I got some opinions on it. Some good, some not good.
Can't wait to hear those, and maybe we'll put together a little in the field video, and that'll kind of be our guinea pig of a subject kind of thing. So in the bottom of this video, in the description, I'm gonna put up the links whenever his video goes available. Put up a link to his channel so you can go check. Right now, I don't believe there's anything on there.
No,
by the time you check out this video, there may be something. So go show him some support. Go subscribe to his channel. Even though if he doesn't have anything up there, just get him in your subscription feed, and you can start seeing his videos from him. So I guess you got anything else?
No, I think that about does it for this week.
Thanks for watching. This is Paul with PM Designs, and
this is Garrett from GJP Photos. Y'all have a good one.
Later.